King Shura Sena of the Yadava dynasty bestowed one of his 5 daughters, Pritha, upon his nephew Kunthibhoja, who was despondent due to his lack of progeny. Kunthibhoja regarded Pritha as a divine present and nurtured her with immense affection. Raised as Kunthibhoja's daughter, Pritha became renowned by the name Kunti. One day, the fierce sage Durvasa visited the hermitage in the kingdom of Kunthibhoja. When Kunthibhoja attempted to send servants to the hermitage to serve the sage, the attendants in the royal palace were terrified. They knew Durvasa to be a wrathful rishi, who would mercilessly curse people for the slightest mistakes. Unable to disregard the king's order, the servants might reluctantly serve Durvasa, potentially causing inadvertent mistakes that could provoke his anger. Hence, King Kunthibhoja entrusted the duty of serving Durvasa to the ever-patient Kunti. Kunti attended to Durvasa with profound reverence and without any vacillation. Durvasa sojourned in the kingdom for several fortnights, and Kunti meticulously maintained his quarters, attending to his needs with scrupulous care. From the inception to the culmination of his stay, her demeanor and deference remained unwavering. She served the irascible sage with such devotion as if attending to him was her providence from a prior existence. Kunti, with her grace and humility, managed to appease the notoriously short-tempered sage Durvasa. Deeply impressed by her service and devotion, Durvasa, upon his departure from the kingdom, bestowed upon her a boon in the form of a mantra. With this boon, Kunti could summon the gods to earth and bear children with them. Being of tender age and unaware of the profound implications of such a boon, Kunti hesitated to reject it, fearing the sage's wrath, and thus she accepted it reluctantly. Ambika and Ambalika reminisced about their past as they conversed in the royal palace. They recalled their childhood days, playing games with their sister Amba, growing up with carefree joy. They remembered how Bhishma single-handedly defeated many warriors in the Swayamvara, ultimately marrying them off to Vichitravirya. The sudden demise of Vichitravirya led them to bear sons through the Niyoga tradition. Reflecting on these tumultuous twists, they pondered the meaning of their lives, intricately woven by Brahma, and their thoughts wandered toward the uncertainties of their future. Ambalika, expressing her lack of interest in life, revealed that she had only one remaining desire: to see her son Pandu coronated as the mighty Maharaja of the Kuru kingdom, and to witness his grand marriage to an extraordinarily beautiful princess. Hearing Ambalika's wish, Ambika's heart grew heavy, and her mind, laden with anxiety, was compelled to examine her own desires. Deeply troubled by the future of her son Dhritarashtra, she feared his blindness would bar him from obtaining a significant position in the Council of Ministers. She knew that Vidura, already renowned for his righteousness, would be declared the chief minister, and that the post of commander could never be given to a blind man. Consequently, Dhritarashtra would be excluded from political responsibilities, lacking any major role in the governance of the kingdom. His blindness would render him unable to detect the intrigues around him, leading to his marginalization. Ambika realized that there was only one way to safeguard her son's future. The expansive open-air amphitheater reverberated with the cheers of thousands, eagerly awaiting the display of martial prowess from the warriors of various realms within the kingdom. The royal preceptor, Kripacharya, commenced the competitions. Bhishma, Satyavati, Ambika, and Ambalika, along with Kripacharya, were seated on the principal dais, observing the spectacle. On the other side of the arena, the contestants awaited their turn. Among them sat Dhritarashtra, brooding over the humiliation inflicted upon him by Pandu, resolute in his determination to prove to everyone that he was no less than Pandu. Vijura, always rational and compassionate, approached Dhritarashtra, who was supposed to be with the royal princes. He questioned the reason for Dhritarashtra's presence among the other warriors instead of being with them. In response, Dhritarashtra declared that he was going to prove to everyone that he could perform the feats that Pandu did with eyesight, even without it. Vijura, understanding his intent, cautioned him that the tumultuous cheers of thousands of people would make it impossible to focus, and if he failed, he would face great humiliation. Kripacharya stood up and announced that Prince Pandu, the finest archer in Bharatha continent, was about to showcase his extraordinary archery skills. The crowd erupted in applause for him. A ferocious elephant, twice the size of a normal one, stormed into the arena. The audience, witnessing the colossal creature, cheered in exhilaration. The enormous crowd gazed in awe as the bewildered elephant, startled by the arrows shot by Pandu, began to run in panic. Pandu, with remarkable swiftness, shot arrows alongside the elephant, constructing barricades on both sides. These barriers guided the elephant's path, controlling its movement. The spectators were mesmerized by Pandu's speed and precision, watching in astonishment. Maneuvering the elephant skillfully, Pandu directed it into the massive cage prepared for it. As soon as the elephant entered, the soldiers swiftly closed the gate. The crowd erupted in loud cheers, extolling Pandu's extraordinary archery skills. The arena resonated with their jubilant applause. After some time, once the cheers subsided, Dhritarashtra, from the other side of the assembly, loudly proclaimed that despite being blind, he too could demonstrate his prowess by controlling the mad elephant. Using the sound of the elephant as a guide, he broke the lock of the cage with a single spear. The elephant emerged from the cage and began to run. Along with the people, Kripacharya and Bhishma were astonished. Dhritarashtra, aiming based on the thunderous sound of the elephant's heavy footsteps, shot an arrow, injuring the beast. This further enraged the elephant, causing it to lose control and recklessly charge towards the crowd. Some soldiers, armed with chains, attempted to restrain the elephant, but they were unable to withstand its immense strength. Even though Pandu shot arrows to construct a barrier to control the elephant, this time the elephant easily broke through the barricade and charged towards the crowd. The people, panicked and running in fear, were about to face a grave danger. Seeing this, Bhishma, determined to prevent any harm to the citizens, prepared his bow to shoot the beast himself. As the furious elephant charged towards the crowd, it suddenly halted as its chain got caught on something incredibly strong. The people, astonished, looked on to see Dhritarashtra standing firm, holding the chain tied to the elephant. He began to pull the mighty beast in the opposite direction. The spectators were mesmerized by Dhritarashtra's immense strength. The elephant, reversing its course, charged furiously towards Dhritarashtra. With the thunderous echoes of the charging elephant, Dhritarashtra deftly utilized his skills, and in the split second before the massive beast could strike him, he expertly stepped onto its tusks, swiftly climbed atop its head, and with precise and extraordinary force delivered a powerful kick to its crown. Unable to withstand the blow, the enormous elephant, weighing nearly 2,000 pounds, collapsed to the ground. Dhritarashtra effortlessly pulled the massive beast with a chain and secured it back into its cage. The spectators, recovering from their astonishment, erupted into cheers, applauding his incredible strength. The public's admiration for Dhritarashtra's prowess filled Ambika with immense joy. Pandu felt relieved that his brother was unharmed. Krupacharya also felt at ease, knowing that the people were safe. The crowd, initially amazed by Pandu's archery skills, was now utterly captivated by Dhritarashtra's display of power, completely overshadowing Pandu's prowess. Dhritarashtra, having reclaimed the spotlight and demonstrating to nearly everyone in Hastinapura that he was more capable than Pandu, was elated with profound satisfaction. But Dhritarashtra's actions, which endangered the lives of the kingdom's citizens just to showcase his prowess, caused profound dissatisfaction not only in Bhishma, but also in Vijaya. Kunti, while contemplating deeply on the mantra given to her by sage Durvasa, began to have doubts about its efficacy. She found herself in a quandary, unsure of which deity to summon to test the boon. Driven by an insatiable curiosity to validate the mantra, Kunti decided to go to the sacred Ganges River for a solitary bath, a departure from her usual practice of being accompanied by maidservants. As she immersed herself in the holy waters of the Ganges, she looked up at the radiant rising sun. The brilliance of the sun filled her with an inexplicable joy. Within her mind, she chanted the mantra given by Durvasa and invoked the sun god. No sooner had she completed the mantra than the sun god manifested before her in human form. Kunti was struck with awe and disbelief, unable to fathom the reality before her eyes. A surge of fear enveloped her as she realized that the sun god was about to bestow a child upon her. The thought of bearing a child as an unmarried woman filled her with dread. The impending act felt like a grievous sin. Realizing the gravity of her actions, she feared the severe judgment she would face from society. Not only would she be shamed, but her entire family and future generations would also be subjected to disgrace. Filled with immediate remorse, Kunti apologized to the sun god, explaining that her intention was merely to test the mantra's power, not to conceive a child with him. The sun god, understanding her plight, responded that once summoned by the mantra, he was bound to fulfill its purpose. However, he reassured her that she would not lose her virginity, nor would she have to carry the child for 9 months. The child would be born immediately through Sedio Garbham, ensuring that her and her family's honor would remain intact. Realizing that she had no option but to accept the child from the sun god, Kunti was compelled to acknowledge the divine offspring bestowed upon her. Placing the infant inside a golden chest, the sun god then vanished from her sight. With a heart intertwined with intense confusion and fear, Kunti gazed upon her firstborn. The baby, with an enchanting face and radiant golden armor and earrings, filled her with a momentary forgetfulness of her fears and societal norms. For a brief instant, Kunti held her child close, showering him with maternal love. Gradually, sorrow engulfed her heart. Torn between her love for the child and her dread of facing society as an unwed mother, she endured a profound internal struggle. Seeking the strength to withstand this emotional turmoil, she implored the divine for resilience. With a heart-wrenching resolve, Kunti placed her child back in the golden chest and set it adrift in the Ganges River, then returned to the palace, her soul heavy with anguish.